All right, this one, we're going to find the correlation coefficient. We're going to use the calculators to do it. I know how to do it now, so I'm about to give you instructions, so please either write these instructions down. They are very similar to the way we did data earlier, but there is a couple of very, very significant differences that if you don't do it this way, it will confuse you, or it won't work, actually. So, all right. So here's our calculator. Yay for calculators, yay. Okay. Now, you guys remember how to go to set up for stat mode normally? Okay, first thing we normally did was we did shift and set up, hit the down arrow, went to stat, just to turn the frequency on and off. Now, we don't need frequency in this one, so I'm just going to turn it off. I don't think it matters if you've got it on. It really doesn't, but I just turned it off. Okay. So that's just turning the frequency on and off. It didn't actually do anything else. What you're going to do is you are going to go into mode. Okay, we are going to use stat. Now, normally we've been using one variable. Now we've got two variables. We've got height and mass. Okay, so we're actually going to use a plus bx. Okay, so the number 2 one. Okay, that's the only difference here. We do that. Now, when we do that, all of a sudden we've got an x and a y variable column. We've now got 2 columns for variables. Cool? Easiest way to now enter them is just to enter one column and then go back and enter the other one. So 187 equals 182 equals 183 equals 183 equals 185 equals 188 equals 191 equals 188 equals. Okay, so I've entered all 8 of them. Just hit the down arrow and it takes you back to the top. Hit the right arrow, it goes over to the y column, the second variable, and now I'm just entering the second set of data. So once again, 95 equals 84 equals 93 equals 91 equals, not hiccups, 113 equals 107 equals 103 equals 106 equals. So you should have 8 data points, X and Y. Everyone happy with that? So we've entered it the same way we did before, but we've got 2 columns this time. We've got the X data and we've got the Y. And yeah, once again, once you've got your data in, trust your calculator. Hit all clear. Okay? So you hit all clear. The data's not gone, it's still stored in there. We just don't want to see it at the moment. Now, we've done this all before. Now we hit shift and 1 because that's where stats is. And now we've got the different options. Yep, shift 1. Okay, so I'll hit all clear. Shift 1. And it brings up that menu. Normally what we've done in the past is we've gone straight to variable, number 4. And you'll notice there's a couple of extra ones in there. We always had the bar over the X bar, which is the mean. We've now got, I just went to variable, whichever number that happens to be, VAR. Okay. You'll notice this also now has a bar over the Y. Because we've got 2 variables, we could find the mean of the Y as well. Yeah, I went to variables. It's not actually where we're going to find the regression, but I just want to show you this now. Okay, so it's got the mean of X, it's got the mean of Y, it's got the population standard deviation of X, the population standard deviation of Y, the sample standard deviation of X, and the sample standard deviation of Y. So it's got all the things that we had before, but it's got it for the X ones and for the Ys, okay, for both sets of data. Cool? So that's that. So I'm just going to hit all clear again, then go shift 1 to bring us back in. That's in variable. What we want to do this time is we want to find the correlation coefficient of the median regression line, or the line of best fit. Okay. Now the reason I used all the words there is because what I want you to remember is REG for regression. REG is regression. So we hit 5, and that will give us all these options. Okay. Don't worry about all of them. The only one you want is R. Okay. So the only one we want is R. So number 3 on my calculator, it may be different if you've got a different model. Okay? And that is your correlation coefficient. You're done. You've got it. So it actually looks like a lot of work, but it's not, because if they're asking you like 7 or 8 questions about that particular set of data, once you've got that data in your calculator, you can find the mean of the heights, the mean of the mass, you can find the standard deviations, you could find the min, the max, all of that. All right, so is everyone happy with that? Okay, now I have recorded it, so if you need to recall the steps and you can't remember, you can go back and watch this, and it goes through the steps, and you'll at least see the calculator. Yeah. Everyone happy? Yeah. Cool. So we used it, and we found. Now you'll also notice that they call it R. Okay. Now, we now know what the correlation coefficient is, but the second part of the question says, okay, now refer to it, talk about the strength of the correlation. That is what they will ask you. They will give you a question that has an answer like 0.63, and it'll say, well, okay, well, what sort of correlation is that? Don't forget, 0 means there's no correlation. -1 is a perfect negative correlation. +1 is a perfect positive correlation. So the first thing you should be able to do is go, well, this is positive, so therefore it is a positive correlation. Now you have to interpret the strength of that. Moderate, you got that from the table? Well done. Okay, 0.6. It's a bit over halfway. So yeah, moderate. Okay. Positive moderate correlation. There we go. Moderate positive correlation. Everyone happy with that? Few steps, but you wouldn't be asked a question where you just had to work that out and nothing else.